There are 5 questions that come up constantly, in comments, in DMs, in conversations between people who are curious about Bitcoin, but haven't quite made up their minds yet. Is it too late? What if it goes to zero? How much should I buy? What about other crypto? And what do I actually do with it once I have it? This episode answers all 5, directly, without the deflection that usually passes for an answer, and without pretending the questions are simpler than they are. If you've been sitting with any of these, this is the episode for you. And if someone you know keeps asking them, send them here. Ready to take your first real step? Buying your first bit of Bitcoin, $15, link in the description. This is the most common question, and it almost always comes from a specific feeling, the sense that other people got in earlier, that the opportunity has passed, that you're somehow behind. Let's separate 2 different things that often get conflated in this question. The first is price timing. Is it too late to buy at a good price? That question has no honest answer. Nobody, not analysts, not traders, not the people who've been in Bitcoin for a decade, consistently knows where the price goes next. If someone is telling you they do, they're either wrong or they're trying to sell you something. That part of the question is unanswerable, and it's worth letting go of. The second thing is understanding. Is it too late to understand Bitcoin, to grasp what it is, why it exists, and what it means? That question has a clear answer. No, it's never too late to understand something. And understanding is what every good decision starts from. Here's the specific version of is it too late that trips people up most often. The feeling that the price has already risen so much, that the opportunity is gone. Bitcoin has been declared dead over 400 times. After the crash of 2011, dead. After 2014, dead. After the crash of 2018, dead. After 2022, dead again. Each time, recovery. Each recovery higher than before. Nobody who said, I should have bought in 2013, benefited from that observation in 2014. The same is true now. The question isn't whether you missed the past. It's whether you understand the present well enough to make your own decision about the future. This is the right question, not because the answer is reassuring. It isn't entirely, but because asking it means you're thinking clearly about risk, and thinking clearly about risk is more useful than ignoring it. Can Bitcoin go to zero? Yes, any asset can. Companies go bankrupt. Currencies collapse. Gold has never gone to zero in recorded history, but it's not immune to significant price falls. And Bitcoin, a 16-year-old technology in a still evolving regulatory environment, carries risk that more established assets don't. The honest answer is, Bitcoin could fail. A technological vulnerability could emerge. A coordinated global regulatory crackdown could severely restrict it. A better alternative could eventually replace it. None of those scenarios are impossible. Understanding them, clearly without minimizing, is part of what it means to be informed. What the evidence says, though, is that 16 years of operation have not produced any of those failures. The network has had over 99.9% uptime since its creation in 2009. It has never been successfully hacked at the protocol level. Thousands of the world's best cryptographers and security researchers have spent 16 years trying to find a fatal flaw. They haven't found one. That's not a guarantee. It's 16 years of evidence. And 16 years of evidence is not nothing. Hold both things together, the real risk and the real track record, and you have a more complete picture than most people engage with. This is the question that sounds like it has a formula answer, but doesn't. Or rather, the formula answer is one that most people hear and dismiss, but that is actually correct. Only invest what you're comfortable losing. This sounds like a cop-out. It isn't. It's the only honest answer to a question that involves genuine uncertainty. If the amount you put into Bitcoin dropped to zero tomorrow, would it affect your rent? Your groceries? Your ability to pay a bill? If yes, start smaller. Not because Bitcoin will go to zero, but because making financial decisions from a position of pressure almost always produces worse outcomes than making them from a position of stability. The version of this answer that specific percentages allocate 5% of your portfolio requires knowing your full financial picture. This channel doesn't. A financial advisor who understands your situation is the right person to have that conversation with. What we can say clearly, your first purchase is not about the amount, it's about the process. $20 of Bitcoin teaches you exactly the same things that 20,000 does: how an exchange works, how the transaction process is, what a wallet is, what a seed phrase is, how to secure your account, all of the practical knowledge that separates someone who understands Bitcoin from someone who just owns it. That knowledge is available at any purchase size. Start where you're comfortable, learn the system, go from there. This question comes up in two ways. Sometimes it's, should I buy other crypto too? Sometimes it's, why are you only talking about Bitcoin? Both deserve a direct answer. Crypto is a catch-all word that covers thousands of completely different things. Some are genuine technology experiments. Some are speculative assets with no clear use case. Some are outright scams. And some, a small number, are serious projects with serious teams working on real problems. Bitcoin is in a different category from most of them. It has no founder collecting a salary, no pre-mine enriching insiders, no CEO making promises. A fixed supply that can't be changed, and 16 years of unbroken operation. Most other cryptocurrencies have none of those characteristics. Bitcoin for Girls covers Bitcoin specifically. That's a deliberate choice, not because other projects are necessarily bad, but because Bitcoin is the one with the strongest, clearest case for what a form of money that nobody controls should look like. If you want to explore other projects beyond Bitcoin, that's a reasonable thing to do, with research, with caution, and with a clear-eyed understanding of what you're looking at. But the foundation, understanding Bitcoin first, is the starting point that makes everything else make sense. This is the question that comes after the first purchase, and often it catches people slightly off guard. You've bought some Bitcoin, now what? The short answer is buy, understand, hold, and gradually move toward self-custody. Buy, which you've done or you're about to. Start on a regulated exchange. Small amount. Secure account with 2FA. Understand, which is what this channel is for. What you own, how it works, what the risks are, what the long-term picture looks like. Understanding is not a one-time event. It grows with time and attention. Hold, which means not reacting to price movements, not checking it daily, not selling at the first significant drop. Bitcoin is a long-term asset. Treat it with a long-term mindset. And self-custody, which is the goal eventually. Moving your Bitcoin off an exchange and into a wallet where you control the keys. Not today if you're not ready, but on the horizon. Because not your keys, not your coins, not just a slogan. It's the full expression of what Bitcoin ownership actually means. 5 questions, 5 direct answers. Is it too late? Not to understand it. The price, nobody knows. What if it goes to zero? It's a real risk. 16 years of evidence says the network works. Hold both. How much should I buy? Only what you're comfortable losing. Start where you're stable. What about other crypto? Bitcoin is the one with the strongest case. Understand it first. What do I do with it? Buy. Understand. Hold. Move towards self-custody. That's the whole picture, in one episode. If you're ready to take your first real step, Buying your first bit of Bitcoin is in the description. $15. Step by step. Bitcoin for girls, the building of a beautiful future. See you in the next one.